major concerns around, employment, and with the increasing numbers of unemployed Nigerians. The question now is, how or where do I even start from, with planning for my retirement? And can I even retire without working? Major important questions that need to be answered. And thankfully, we do have, a financial educator right now joining us from Lagos. We have Yemmie Olaleye on the program. Thank you, Yemmie Olaleye, for joining us on Business Daily.
Thank you, Trust TV. Thank you, Chiamaka, for having me again. It's wonderful to be here.
Thank you for joining us. Yemmie, you have seen the very interesting responses that we have gotten from most Nigerians. Concerns around employment. Can I plan for retirement when I don't even work? But let's hear from you. How important is it to plan towards retirement?
Okay, so the first point I'm going to raise from all the comments I've read, every one of them made a very valid point, especially if you live in Nigeria of today. I understand and I can relate very strongly with everybody's opinion right there. Just that it's coming from just one angle, because they are thinking that the retirement must be through government jobs or working for somebody. But let's look at a critical view of how you can actually still retire without thinking about government jobs. The time we live in now is not a time where what you studied in school will put food on your table. It's not the time that your certifications will determine how successful and impactful you would be in the world. It's a time that what you can do is what will play a significant role in the world. And saying that means you can actually do things of your own. Is a place of innovation thinking, strategic thinking, and commitment of what you can do to do something, whether it's been done before or not. When you actually do this and you can see reactions, acceptance of your services in God, you can do business, you can stop doing that business at a point in time, is also a retirement. Retirement planning basically is actually planning for tomorrow from today, ensuring that the financial obligations of today can be met without pressure in the future. And this calls for a critical angle in your financial planning, in your retirement planning. What I read there is a person will never chop, see they talk of retirement. That's true. That's true. But when we look at other points whereby you can do something where the world can embrace beyond Nigeria, you can still talk about retirement. There are so many importance of retirement. One, there is a lifestyle that you are maintaining currently today, maybe flying business class, stays in 5-star hotel for conferences, for whatever it is. You may love this lifestyle so much, and in the future, you may want this to continue. Then how do you guarantee that future for this lifestyle to continue? That is a retirement plan. You have to plan it. What will determine what you will spend in the future is how much you plan for today. If you want to be flying business class in the future, then what is your current financial size and how can that transcribe into that future you want to live in? That is where the planning comes from. If in the future you will not have up to 50 million naira in your account, then thinking of first class 2 times in a year to different countries, you will see that that's not sustainable for more than 5 years to come, including consideration of increase in inflation. That is one. Secondly, retirement plan is good for you when you think of legacy. At this point, at this age, I told few friends a few days ago, I said, at this moment, I cannot be investing in where I'll be getting percentage of what I invest in money. Like I borrow you money, I borrow you 50 million, for example, to start a company, and you will pay me back maybe 100 million. I won't accept that at this point, because the world has transcended that level for those that think in retirement rent. Meaning you should be thinking of legacy. Imagine you invested with Facebook way back and you are getting just 0.5% of the share every year. Today you're probably one of the biggest, so you can't talk about legacy, leaving legacy behind. Retirement plan goes into that level. Look at what you can do. It could be an idea. You could be a very good writer Someone may just need an idea from you. You can go on with agreement. Okay, if this goes on, I can get 20% of your company for the next 2 decades or for the next 5 decades. That's such an agreement for legacy, and it's good. When we go around healthcare, importantly, I shouldn't forget this healthcare. I will tell you that it's around 0.3%, is around 3% of Nigerians are covered by insurance on healthcare. That is amazing and appalling to know. Why? Because a lot of people, based on that comment, who never chop, they plan retirement. It's a very good question. Part of retirement is to plan of your health. When you work so much today and you labor so much today, so you can spend money at your retirement, and the retirement comes, there is nobody to enjoy the money. You will spend the money you've saved on the body to be functioning properly because you did not take care of the body in the youth. So for that reason, even naturally, as you go in age, there is this health depletion. There is a way your body will not just be functioning the way you want it to function as at 30 years ago. So which means, as a matter of fact, as you grow older, you have to increase the medical bills that you'll be spending on yourself. You have to increase how much you take care of your body, your health, and the status around that. So it takes a lot. Retirement plan is an entire body of how you plan your future to be. It's beyond you getting annual or quarter or let's say monthly incomes consistently. And one good part is that retirement can actually still help you to do that. You can be getting monthly income, you can be getting quarter income or annual income. Depends on how you've planned your retirement to be. The benefit of retirement is enormous, but I've shared some.
Let's pause at this point. We will be back, after the break to look at specific ways that Nigerians can plan towards retirement. Do stay. My guest, Yemmie Olaleye, who is a financial educator, is on standby. Watching Business Daily, coming to you live on Trust TV. And just before the break, we started a conversation on a personal finance series, and today we are looking at how or why to plan for retirement. And like I stated before, retirement is a time where, as humans, we have worked for a prolonged period of time, and then we decide to stop work and focus on our savings, our pensions, our investment to sustain our lifestyle. And I have my guest, who is a financial educator, Yemmie Olaleye, still here with me. Thank you again, Mr. Olaleye, for coming on the program this morning.
Thank you very much. It's my pleasure to be here. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Mr. Yemmie, I will want to start with this point. It is not uncommon to hear, people say things like, my retirement plan are my children or my child is going to be my retirement plan? It is something that you find in very traditional societies like, Africa, Asia, and places like that. What would you say regarding that? Is that a good and efficient retirement plan?
Very much. We have to respond to this as an African. I've heard so much things like that before, but the question is, there are things we call uh, there's a kind of investment, legacy investment. One of them is in this thinking, particularly thinking that your child will be your investment plan. God forbid. What if you do not live long enough to see the child blossom? What if the child do not actually make it as at the time you expected him to make it? What about that? So that means there is a level of pressure you're going to put on the child as not making it in life because your expectation is now defining his own failure, even though he's struggling, which may be very, very wrong. And that's why you see a lot of youth now, they are demoralized. You see many artists things now, they say, I'm doing it for the money, I'm doing it for the, I'm doing this for the house, and all of those stuff. We personally say it's not a good thing in thinking per se. The point is understandable. Every parent deserves that joy to see the child blossom, to make it well in life, and to give them back the value. It's understandable. I pray for that. I pray for every parent in that realm. But I want parents to think beyond that level. There are parents in their 60s that are still helping the child, even at 25, to help him, assist him financially until he gets better. Some children may not get better to 25, some will not get it straight until 30. When we talk about investment or retirement planning, from the age of 21 in an advanced country, you should be thinking about retirement planning. In Nigeria, you can even tell that to a 30-year-old man and still get bashed over it. Now, what do you mean? So I will say it is not quite interesting to say, but I want parents to look beyond that. What can you do just in case it's not forthcoming from the children right now? What can you do without putting so much pressure on the children before they make it? It's a good thing. You don't even have to tell a child that the child is absolutely your retirement plan. Of course, even though there are people that you've helped when you are still working actively that may actually play the role of a child to you in the future, and yet they are not your biological children. What about that? So you do not invest in people because you expect them to serve as a retirement plan. You do that because it is your responsibility to do first as a parent, and whatever comes out of that, we are grateful. That is the thinking I believe that we should sustain this kind of mindset, because there is so much going on right now that people going through pressure are not even saying it loud. And you hear things like some youth, they commit suicide. They can't really tell what really happened, but you will know it's from a place of pressure and depression. And depression that you see, the first level of depression is cluelessness. When you have no clue of where you are going in direction, when you become cluelessness, you have no direction. That is when this depression sets in. And we can actually limit this event happening when parents think in a right or in a better dimension. Thank you.
Let us ask or hear from you. You talked about the age at which parents, or how long some parents stop supporting their children. You unfortunately have cases, like you rightly stated, where parents still support their children that are old as 25 years old and above. But the question now is, especially for young graduates or people who are just coming out of school and maybe starting their first employment job, what would you say is the right stage or right age, or at what point in a person's career should they start actively planning towards retirement?
Okay, great. So I'm going to say, when you talk about retirement, it's not something that should eat you as a news, as a breaking news. No. In the right sense, if it's a place where everything is working perfectly, where the system is working, from the age of 21 to 35, that is the first phase that you should focus on planning your retirement. Why is that possible? Because this gives you ample time to sit down, strategize, and plan your life, how it's going to be. including your financial obligations for the future, for your immediate family, for your extended family, for what you want to do in the world, for the social activities. This time is the best time for you to plan it between the age of 21 to 35 years. The second phase, I'm going to say that should be from 36 to 50. From the age of 36 to 50 is the second phase of planning. This is when you have much engagement in life. The reality hits you terribly. You realize that what you plan most of the time doesn't come out the way you expected. You've budgeted to spend, let's say, 500K for this month. All of a sudden, accident pop out from the best friend, and you have to drain your wallet, your account to support the life and all of that. Things happen. Things that we never planned for, they happen a lot. So within the age of 36 to 50 is the second phase for you to plan. In this level, you will be able to see the reality, how much you can actually budget for your retirement. Now, considering you have a family, you have extended family and immediate family, you have yourself, you have your health. Because without good health, you cannot even talk about planning. You cannot talk about retirement planning. And the last phase is from the age of 51 to 65. From 51 to 65 is the last phase for you to plan your retirement. If you are just getting to know that, it's not too late, because the truth is, anytime you have an information that will shape you in the right direction, it's not too late for you to take action from that moment. From age of 51 to 65, it's also good, because this is the time you realize that what you've been planning, that okay, by the time you end up retiring at 60 years old, you should have 100 million naira in your retirement portfolio. And the reality now is you are even having less. This is actually the time for you to fine tune your retirement portfolio. You should know how much you should be withdrawing, or how much you should reduce, or how well you should reduce your withdrawal from your portfolio on annual basis. You know, this is the last phase, and this will give you a sense of coming to an end. In the next 5 years, I will stop working. What I'm having in my portfolio for retirement, will it sustain me for the next 10 years? Those are the kind of critical questions that will be coming. So that will also reposition you, even if you have not gotten it right from the age of 21, if you have not gotten it right from the age of 36, the age from 50 to 65, you would be able to get it right, because it is just reality facing you right there. Thank you.
Mr. Olaleye, you said something. You said that we don't necessarily have to have, formal employment to be able to actively plan towards retirement. And one of the questions that crossed my mind is, of course, we know we have the National Pensions Commission's, contributory pension scheme. However, what then are the alternatives for people who don't have, a formal pension scheme like that? Where can they get started from?
Okay, very good. So this is where the financial literacy of every individual should wake up. There are some things that you cannot do. You can plan, think about them, but you cannot execute them. And when you check that, it literally means that you will need a service of a financial planner who understand about retirement planning to help you out. Financial institutions are everywhere. You can just walk in, know what you want to invest in. You can say you want to be contributing certain percentage of what you are making from your business on an average every quarter, or every 6 months, or every year. In fact, you can make it simple. Every month, you can be doing something like that. Where people had problems that I've seen in my survey is people think this is too small to contribute. But trust me, no matter how much it is, if you can consistently do that for 365 days, for 52 weeks, you're going to see how that is going to turn out. If you are doing a business, you should be able to set out what you want to spend and what you are saving from every outcome of that business. From every amount you make, you should be able to set out a certain percentage from it. You can work in a bank, ask about bonds, ask about money markets. These are things that you can do. There is an approach of 100 that people use when it comes to retirement, like 100 minus the 100 is the life expectation of you. So the 100 minus your actual age. So if your actual age is 40, for example, it means 100 minus 40, you will have 60, right? So it means 60% of your income that you want to save must go to a stock. Then the remaining 40% can go to bond, can go to money market, can go into your cash that you can have in your bank. And these are few of those ways that you can navigate around your retirement, even if you are not working with a company that ensures that there is a pension scheme that will pay you. Another thing I must say, if you must work with an organization, with a company, right there when you
We seem to have some technical difficulties right there. But while we try to, reconnect with our guest, who is a financial educator, Yemmie Olaleye, he started, the conversation around talking about the importance of financial planning and personal finance planning, especially towards retirement. Fortunately, the comments we did get on social media, gave us an idea of Nigerians' thinking with regards to financial planning for retirement. And unfortunately, not so many people are, aware of the benefit of retirement plan, as most of them were asking that wouldn't they have to work in order to, plan for retirement? But he also did speak as to the importance of planning for that and, the age at which you should start planning. I believe our guest is back now with us. Yemmie Olaleye, please go on with your thoughts.
Okay, so as I was saying, I said I would even encourage those that are looking for jobs with companies, no matter the pressure, no matter the affliction they've gone through, no matter the waiting period before they got the job, they shouldn't let pressure win. Right there on your negotiation table, you should be able to ask one simple question from your employee or from your employer. The question is simple. What is the plan towards the pension? It is that simple. Because the truth is, if the organization doesn't plan that for you, no matter how much you are paid on a monthly basis, when the reality of your budget eats you, you may have nothing to save for the future. So I encourage that when you are on that negotiation table for that job, please do ask, what is the plan for the pension? If the organization have a pension scheme that will work in such a way that certain percentage is taken from your salary and saved on your behalf, pension is automatically what you and your employer put together to contribute to work for you in the future. That is pension. So part of what you will ask is if the organization have this kind of scheme. That will also help you a lot, because it is good for you, it is good for your future, and it is good for the retirement plan that you want to design. Thank you.
What about entrepreneurs now, and people who don't work in a formal setting? Are there retirement plans that they can, tap into? Or what ways can they, secure their retirement for the future?
Okay, like I rightly said the other time, you can walk into a bank, you can discuss this, or any other financial institution. There's a level of, that's why I say you will need a financial planner, because there are so many factors that will be put together for your retirement plans to be designed. One, what is your current financial status? How much do you earn? These are the things. What are your retirement goals and hobbies? These are what will help to design a retirement plan for you. You may not be able to do that on your own, because there are so many records that will be viewed and analyzed, including your medical report. Your medical record, we go through this, we will know what it is. For example, some people have debt. They are owing so much money. And when they look at what they have in their retirement portfolio, they will think they have a whole lot. And when you see the reality, by the time they get into their retirement, they will pay debts with more of what they have as their retirement portfolio, which is not bad. So that's why you need a professional who is a financial professional that can help you to plan your retirement, or walk into any financial institution, even bank. You can leverage on buying stock. You can leverage on buying bond. You can buy this and you keep. And people should understand how to leverage on this information. That's just it. I don't want to go back and forth. When you work in a bank and you discuss this is what you want, as I said, whatever you make from your business on average, you should be able to partition certain amount into what you want to invest into your retirement.
You have given us, quite a number of options in the area of investment, but there is no investment without risk. So speaking about risk management now, how can individuals, access the risk tolerance of a certain investment when choosing options towards retirement planning?
Okay, that's great. Every investment opportunities comes with their different risk that is attached to them. One, if you talk about, for example, like cryptocurrency, some people can leverage on that, but at the same time, they should know that it is very, very, very risky. Very, very risky. If you cannot absorb so much risk, you cannot do that. It's not advisable. There is a level of investment tolerance you can have when you go into a real estate that you cannot have when you are doing business like trading forex, for example, or buying stocks, or buying stocks, of course. So, which means these are very, 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 very lucrative. At the same time, they are very risky. What I will still advise is any of this option that suits your portfolio, that suits your financial capacity, should follow with a risk. If you are dealing with a financial planner, is going to be able to tell you, spell this out to you carefully. This is the risk that is attached to that. For example, there are some uncertainty factors that we're going to consider. Even if you are going into real estate, for example, people say there's no risk in real estate. I say no, there is. What if you're done building a house and the house somehow is in the direction of wind and the roof pull off after a year? What happens to that? It's a risk on its own part. So every business opportunity in retirement planning comes with different risks. The one you choose will come with one risk, and you should understand that risk. This will be communicated by a financial planner or the financial institution that you enter for this counsel.
You have re-emphasized the need for, people to have financial planners. Are you by any means trying to say that planning cannot be done solely by an individual or a family without, involving third parties?
Okay, so just like the way it goes, the ability to argue very well doesn't make you a lawyer, right? The fact that you know what you want may not be the end means to getting what you want. If you have the financial literacy of what it takes, you can definitely do this on your own. If you do not have it, it is great that you follow advice to reach out to a financial planner who is an expert, because there are certain information that will be required of you that you may not put into consideration because it's you. That is just the reason. But if you have the financial literacy that it takes, of course, you can do that. Just like you budget every month. Sometimes you may see a big budget and you just have to sit down and dissect, bring your priority list, what is needed, what are your needs, what are your wants. You filter all of those things and you come out with a nice budget. These are things that some people are employed to do. And basically, you can do this on your own if you are illiterate in that realm. So you can do it on your own if you have that financial literacy. But if you do not have it, you can reach out for guidance.
Well said.
That's my opinion.
Yemmie Olaleye, who is a financial educator, educating us on why it is important to, plan for retirement and how to get started. Thank you for all the insight you've given on the program today.
All right, you're welcome. Thank you for having me. It's my pleasure. Thank you.
Well, this is where we draw the curtains on this edition of Business Daily, coming to you live on Trust TV. Join the conversation on social media and let us hear from you. How are you planning? What steps have you taken so far? And let us hear from you. My name is Chiamaka Nendu. Thank you for watching, and bye for now.